Play me the keys, let us sing something new,
Hello, listener. This is Life Flow Podcast. I am Debbie Toesi Ajum. Welcome to the show.
I can see the smile up in your face.
If this is your first time listening, we hope to lure you into becoming a devoted listener because in this space, you're sure to get very interesting, relatable stories about everyday life that could be fiction, faction, or just facts. In this episode, we collaborate with a budding writer who is just kicking it in the writing world. So I will be reading an excerpt from the book Crying Clouds by UCHENDU ChidIEBERE. Trust me guys, you're also going to love this. Remember I said I'd be mixing random stories in between the stories in the short story collection. So before we get into it, please rate this podcast. Give us 5 stars on the platform you're listening to this on. Follow and subscribe because we have so much content in store for you that you don't want to miss.
You're my breakfast, now you did wake me up when I did drive down. You're my source of joy and happiness.
Ma Izu continued. Long time ago, Emoabinu said to her husband, I really wish you would pay more attention to me. What we crave for would eventually arrive. But the story is not centered on Emo and her husband, but her husband and a girl named Itohan. Itohan, a beautiful lady in her early 30s. While he was under a tree thinking deeply, Itohan appeared. His heart was gravely troubled and there was every need for him to think deeply about his next move. Looking for me? Itohan asked. He was startled by her sudden appearance. He had warned her not to pop up on him in such a frightening manner. However, he let it slide. He chuckled and replied, No, actually, I came to think. About me? No, actually, I came to think about us. Itohan's heart skipped a beat at that moment. She began to feel love. Her long-lost ex-fiancé had begun to think about her. She was dumbfounded. She never thought this day would come because of how he had dumped her in the past. She quit acting surprised, put up a mean look, and replied, After all these years, I am sorry. I was not just convinced that you were the one. He pleaded because he felt guilty for dumping her in the past. Tears had clouded her eyes then. She shivered as she spoke, as if she would cry. I came clean. I told you my entire secrets when we were together. I know, but there is something about you, witches. You know I do not like to be addressed as such. She interrupted him. Coupled with the emotional damage, she was hurt by his choice of words. Sorry, you gifted beings are apt to lies. Quite harsh. But what about your ring? It is in my house. I wear it every so often, just so my wife does not suspect. And so I do not manipulate, she stated another reason. He chuckled, as that was true. I am so sorry, Itohan. She never dreamt this day would come. A tear streamed down her cheek from her right eye and she turned her head in the other direction so he would not see it. Her next intention was to wipe it off with her hand. He held back her hand gently and wiped off the tear. She stared deeply into his eyes as she was trying to see how genuine this new proposal was. In that second, she recalled how he broke her heart and never apologized. Nonetheless, Itohan was a kind-hearted woman. She eventually accepted his apology. Seeing you without a ring means you're not married yet? He politely asked. She nodded. Can I still lie on your laps? She asked. Of course. She comfortably lay on his lap. So, have you used your gift? He swerved. She became more comfortable as she spoke. No, I see no reason for me to use it when I succeed in almost every business I do. So ambitious, he praised her. Aside from the women who lived with the Otaru, she was the richest female in the village. He continued, You know, I think about you even when I'm with her. She grinned and replied, I think about you even when I am with you. He laughed and affectionately said, You are so smart. Sometimes I wish I was you. All the time, I wish I was your wife. Did you just make a wish? Because it's about to come true. Itohan sat up and stared deeply into his eyes. Maizu continued, And yes, Itohan's wish came true. When he got home, he packed his belongings, the ring, and left the house. Emo and her children pleaded on their knees for their husband and father to stay, but he was adamant. Emo summoned her kinsmen to do so, but he was still adamant. She summoned none of his kinsmen because he had none. No family member. He moved into Itohan's luxurious house right after she agreed to marry him, and that was the most intriguing moment of their lives. He and Itohan were having a conversation in the house. You have been there my whole life, even before I met Emo and then cast you away. I am so glad that you are finally my responsibility. She blushed and responded, You also have another responsibility, you know. Who? He asked in surprise. Your children. You cannot abandon all 5 of them. They are your responsibility. I cannot bring any of them with me either. Remember, your identity needs to be secluded. This town is not a friend to your kind. Moreover, they stay in my house. She understood her husband. I do not want anyone or anything to hurt us, except for the ring. He joked. He kissed her hand just then. She chuckled. I trust you will never lie to me, he affectionately said. So, the ring has not hurt you before? Have you told any lies before? He asked. She smiled and said, Well, I'm about to tell one now. He was eager to hear it. I am pregnant, she spat out. Out of excitement, he exclaimed, Wow, wow. So, what is the gender of the child? I do not know all things. You need to attain a certain position for your powers to increase as such. Nonetheless, he was still very much excited. Maizu continued. A hen could not care less if a cockery got snatched by another hen. However, Emma was no hen. She was a woman of war. Of course, she would not fold her arms and let her husband be snatched. She had noticed the ring severally while he was living with her, but she did not know the significance until after eavesdropping on their conversation that certain day. She's a witch! She's a witch! She's a witch! An angry mob led by Emo chanted their way through to Itohan's abode. Some held fresh cut-off branches, while others held local machetes. Itohan and her husband were surprised, so they came outside to know the cause of the agitation. Emo screamed, She's a witch! They all chorused in agreement to what she said. Yes! While waving their weapons in the air. She bewitched my husband and snatched him away from me and his 5 daughters. I have constantly been eavesdropping on their conversation for days and found out that she is a witch. And what do we do to witches? The village youth leader asked. They all chorused fiercely. Burn them alive! The rage from the mob was heavy. as heavy as the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. Itohan was terrified. She held her husband tightly. Her husband yelled, "She is not a witch. I am the wizard." "It is false!" Emo screamed. The youth leader ignored her husband's claims of being the wizard and splashed the sacred water on Itohan, the water that would make only a witch or wizard react. But he dived in the way, preventing the water from splashing on his pregnant wife. The water then splashed on him, and he instantly began to react as a wizard would. "He is indeed a wizard," a random villager pointed. It was obvious that he did not fake the reaction. They immediately logged him to the Otaru's palace. Emo pleaded, "He is not the one you came to apprehend. Let him be." No villager answered her. They had gotten what they came for. They marched on to the Otaru's palace, singing local victory songs. Itohan was in shock. She could not go after her husband in her condition, being heavily pregnant. The moment everyone left the scene, Emo questioned Itohan. "Itohan, what did you do?" She literally spat these words in Itohan's face. She was usually scared of Itohan, but not anymore. She continued fiercely. "How did you make my husband react at the splash of the sacred water when we both know completely well that you are the witch?" Then she left. Emo's conscience troubled her all day long. She intended to save her marriage, but in the end, she had shattered it and shattered her husband's life. "Itohan!" He yelled out in excitement when he saw her. She appeared in his cell to see her husband for the last time. He gave her a lengthy hug. "I am meant to be in this position, not you," Itohan culpably said. "It is fine. Do not feel culpable. I love you, and I will do this over and over again for you and my son." Itohan gave an awkward chuckle at the hearing of son. "I am still marveled as to how I reacted when the sacred water was splashed on me." Remember, you put on this ring, which enables you to detect when I tell a lie or try to manipulate. So, in the eyes of anything sacred, you are our kind. "Oh, I have not even thought of a name for him. He will be a boy, right?" "Yes," she answered. Just then, he screamed, "Ouch!" He had responded to stimuli as his ring finger got burnt. She tried to console him, but he quickly realized and asked, "Did you just lie to me? Did you just lie about the child being a male?" Itohan was guilty and remorseful. "Was that a lie?" he questioned aggressively. "It is not my fault. It is the rule of the coven. Your first child must be a female and must possess the gift, and then your subsequent child would be of any gender of your choice." He let loose. "Your subsequent child? I am dying later today. When will I even think of having a second child?"
I shoot the ball, you catch the ball, you pop the king, you be my wife, you give me joy, you give me goosebumps, your body nice.
Thank you for making it this far. You have come to the end of this episode. Did you enjoy it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this husband got what he deserved? Do you think Itohan was a vile and selfish person for letting him sacrifice his life for her, only to tell him that she would give birth to a female and not a male child like he wanted? Don't forget to follow and subscribe, and if you would love to read the entire book, Crying Clouds is available on Seller and Amazon. I'm going to drop the links in the details about this episode, so do check it out. We're open to collaborations. Hit us up on our socials. Lifelaw is available on Instagram and TikTok at lifelaw_podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Debbie Doresi Ajum signing out. Bye.